Good afternoon, everyone. I have the honor to introduce you to a syndrome you may not have heard about before. It's not really in the textbooks. I call it easy to dismiss syndrome. It often affects patients who don't look ill, mostly young women. Symptoms include pain, fatigue, multisystemic complaints, and the inability to find a doctor who believes you. Sounds familiar? Well, ironically, that's also the experience of people who live with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So today we are talking about both kinds of EDS. My story really started on the other side of medicine, as a doctor's assistant and then later as a lab technician in a biotech lab in Germany. But then I became sick, really sick. I became a journalist, filmmaker, and patient advocate. Not really because I wanted to, but because I had no other choice. Because nobody believed what was happening to my body. In 2010, I was 24 years old and I was thriving. Playing beach volleyball, having a relationship, moving out into my own first apartment. Life was good. Then, after a minor treatment for what we thought were tension headaches, everything changed. I almost died. Overnight, I became bedridden. I developed a multitude of symptoms. Numbness in my hands, weakness, blurred vision, fatigue, fainting when I stood up, food intolerances, burning sensations in my neck, and many, many more. I saw every expert in Germany for 4 years, and all I heard was, "But you don't look sick. You're just faking it. It's just all in your head. You're depressed. Just do a little bit more yoga." But invisible doesn't mean imaginary. Eventually, I flew to the US. And I got a couple of diagnoses that explained everything. Easy to dismiss syndrome, or as we now know, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, craniocervical instability, dysautonomia, mast cell activation syndrome, small fiber neuropathy, and many, many more. See, I didn't imagine things. And invisible doesn't mean imaginary. But the real injury wasn't just physical, it was the years of being dismissed. And this is not just my story. What happened to me is the norm in the EDS community. It's not rare, it happens all the time. This is called medical gaslighting, when symptoms are being dismissed, pain minimized, and suffering rationalized as psychological. Women are especially affected. That's called gender bias. Our pain is taken less seriously, we are labeled emotional or even hysterical, and diagnoses are delayed. And if we are disabled and black, or disabled and trans, or disabled and neurodivergent, the bias just amplifies. It takes 14 years on average to get diagnosed with EDS, 22 years with a prior misdiagnosis as psychological. 56% of all patients get at least one misdiagnosis. But now there's a new study that says that 98% of all people get misdiagnosed with a psychological diagnosis. 86% of all patients report either permanent emotional or physical harm as a consequence of misdiagnoses. So here's the twist. The most dangerous kind of EDS is not Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's easy to dismiss syndrome. It's unconscious, it's systemic, and it's silent. And it's harming patients every day, not through malice, but through omission. Most are traumatized for life. Some die because they aren't believed in. Some die waiting for care they cannot access. Some die due to assisted suicide. And those who survive will never trust a doctor again and disappear from all statistics. Invisible doesn't mean imaginary. I know you didn't go into medicine to hurt people. You don't gaslight on purpose. But when systems are rushed and biases go unchecked, harm still happens. But you can change that. You can break the cycle by doing some simple things. Believe your patients. Partner with them. Understand them as the experts for their bodies as they are. Understand that what you don't see can still be real. EDS isn't rare. You will come across it, especially as rheumatologists. So please understand that we don't need to be fixed. We don't need pity. But what we do need is validation and support. And above all, we need you. The fastest way to help someone with EDS is to believe them the first time. Because, and you've heard this many times before today, invisible doesn't mean imaginary. Let's turn gaslighting into understanding, dismissal into partnership, and easy to dismiss syndrome into empathy-driven support. Thank you for listening.